Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Let me know right away if you can hear me because I was having problems with the microphone on another chat that I did. Can you hear me? That's the first thing I want to know. And if so, we'll continue. This is what I call catch up with Mayo, a Q&A, just checking in, seeing what's going on. I'm trying to do these formal streams, we call them, once a week, trying to do that at least because as you all know who watch my channel regularly, I do impromptu pop-ups where I come up and do live streams here and there. So this is what you call the official one. It could be during the course of a week. There could be all kinds of streams that I do where I come on and check in with people and talk. But I want to do one a week, and this catch up with Mayo is the official one that stays as a video. If somebody could let me know that you can hear me, that's all I need to know right now before I say hello to everybody. Okay, anybody? I see a lot of hellos, but just need confirmation. Yeah, I see we got a few honeymooners references down there. Okay, thank you, Penny Lane. Okay, so yeah, so because I was having problems with this when I did a chat. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so trying to do this the same time right now, and this can always change, but right now, the time that I'm doing this is 5 o'clock p.m. on Saturdays. That's Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. And, maybe I'll change it at some point to another day, but right now I'm going to try this for a while. So I see we got people here checking in: Aunt Mimi, Penny Lane, Karen Brajak, Woodland Goblin, Clock Radio, and Ann Gorski. And Ann, I'm glad you were. I want to say to Ann, I'm glad you're able to be here. I know you had problems lately. I found out what happened. One of the chats. If I leave this up as a video, and if I edit any of it, if you edit any of this, even like one word or one line, if you chop something out later after it's over, then you can no longer have the live stream comments coming up after that. So it's only the ones that I edit. But otherwise, if you look underneath the video, there's something that says it should say live chat, and you should be able to hit live chat and get all of the comments. Okay, so let's see who else we have here. We have Will. We have Al. Hello, Al Ricky. Tim Allen, Robert Logan. Yes, indeed. Chicago Fest. I know he's always big on that. Kimba. Okay, Steve Ramsey, Marcus Thompson, Oliver. Hello. Okay, everyone. So, yeah, here I am. Okay, and let me tell you some of the stuff as you get your comments ready because this is supposed to be a Q&A. And I realize I always think if you do this every week, how many things can you think to ask Mr. Mayo? And of course, I'm not going to talk about politics. That's one thing, and some other things, but certain things are off limits. Yeah. But I want to talk about a little bit about my other channel, my movie channel, that I've now changed the title to. Again, I have a movie channel. It's called Now, and I like this title so much. I'd be very surprised if I ever change it. I know, I've said that before, but now it's called Mayo After Dark. And what I like about that is the idea that you watch me, Mr. Mayo, and then when the lights go down and it's darkness time, Mayo after dark, it's time for movies or TV or whatever. So that's the way I like that. So check out Mayo After Dark. And it's funny. I want to change. I was going to make it only about horror and science fiction movies. Now I'm just going to make it all kinds of movies. So if movies, period. If you want movies, period, go over to Mayo After Dark. And I got a video that I just put up there where I talk with my friend Richie. We talk about horror movies from the 1960s, the decade of the 60s. Talk about our favorites from the 60s. And of course, I have another show that I do on another channel here on YouTube, and it's called Talk More Talk. And we just finished a show on Driving Rain. The controversial Paul album. It's a series we do called Another Listen, where it's an album that sometimes gets raked over the coals a lot and doesn't always get a lot of love, and we listen to it and see if we still want to rake it over the coals, or if we give it a lot of love or not, somewhere in between. So that's Talk More Talk, over with my three co-hosts, Ken Michaels, Kid O'Toole, and Tom Vignotti. And you can watch Talk More Talk every live. It's every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. So let's see now. Oh, Mr. Blood Vessel sounds a bit risque. Yeah, I know. People were saying that. People were saying that. Kind Bob Richards, what's up there? Favorite novels? Isn't it typical that I don't have a lot of them? I mean, I read Jaws growing up. I love that. I read The Exorcist. I love that. Um, I read trying to think what the other title was. Something that was not horror related or science fiction related, and I liked it. I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, but another horror one will be Stephen King, Salem's Lot. I mean, I liked a lot of horror stuff, and Salem's Lot was a good one. I didn't like the Salem's Lot movie too much, but the Salem's Lot book, I really liked that. So let's see. Sorry if I missed anybody saying hello. Yeah, Tim Allen, yes, indeed. I'm glad, Tim, that you watched the entire 60s horror video with Richie. He really knows his stuff. He sure does. How about me, huh? You know, Tim, we can have you on there too one day talking about me. That's something weird stuff. I don't know. And again, I'm going to say this. I put this out there for anybody watching this. If anybody out there knows horror films, likes horror films, and in particular, I'm looking for people because most of my love is for the 1930s horror films, the 1940s horror films, 30s, 40s, and 50s a lot. But it doesn't just have to be that, of course. Please, try to get in touch with me. But the thing is, what I will do is, and I hate to use the word audition, but I would have to do something like this in private, the two of us in private. It's like an interview. I mean, I got to know who you are. You're not crazy. I'm not as crazy as me, anyway. I got to figure out what I'm dealing with and how much that kind of stuff. Because I'm looking for other people to, you know, get in there with stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about political stuff or stuff like that, Bob. Sorry about that. So did I see Van Helsing? I saw clips of Van Helsing, Al, and I hated it. That's everything I hate about movies today. Endless, mindless CGI cartoons. Looks like I'm watching a freaking computer game. I don't know what the hell's going on. They had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde looking more like the Tasmanian Devil than Mr. Hyde. I don't know what the hell that was. I would never see the whole thing. I saw enough to make me sick. And that's honestly how I feel about it. Honestly, I don't like new movies in that regard. And I hated the Brendan Fraser Mummy reboot. Hated that thing. I was in the theaters in 1999. I wanted to spit on the screen. I hated it. Will I ever do Nosferatu? The original Nosferatu, yeah. Well, actually, I like both of them. I like the silent one, the Max Shrek, and I also like the one with Klaus Kinski from 1979. Isn't bad either. Yeah, Universal horror films. Those are my favorite. The Universal monster films are like to movies what the Beatles are to me with music. So that's how I just feel about that. Oh, getting a Criterion today. The girl can't help it. The movie. Yeah. When is that Criterion sale, Kimba? And every time I pass Big Lots, Big Lots. Every time I pass Big Lots, I always think about you. I think, oh, I'm sure Kimba's in there looking for movies. So there you go. Let's see. Hello to Paulina Angel. Sorry I missed you. I'm looking for anybody that I might not have seen. Happy Saturday. Yeah, Werewolf of London. Now, when you say Werewolf of London, do you mean the old Werewolf of London? Or you're talking about An American Werewolf in London from 1981, the comedy? I love the old 1935 Werewolf of London, but you know, okay, we got it's 50% off at Barnes and Noble all month. Okay, I keep getting that's every July, isn't it? By the way, my girlfriend in there, you know what she's watching? The Hallmark Channel because it's Christmas in July. There. Jeez, Christmas in July. You know how much I hate Christmas in July? I mean, July, no snow, no, no cold. There you go. So, okay, John Moreno confirms the original We're Off of London. Yeah, it's not my favorite of the Universals, but I do like it. I do like it. I think Yellow Submarine would have made a better EP than a full album. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. They should have made an EP of it. Yeah, but you know what they put out in 1999, that the blue cover album, the song track. They did a good job with that one. Sounds like a Florida Christmas. Yeah, it's okay. Um, you found Gimme Shelter by the Stones on Criterion with the thick book inside on DVD for $1 at the thrift store. I'm telling you, in a lot of ways, Tim, you're the king of thrift store finds. By the way, I was talking a little while. I want to remind everybody about my Mayo After Dark channel. Subscribe for movies to Mayo After Dark. But I have a video that I just recorded for that channel right here, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's nostalgia. It has to do with collectible old lunchboxes from the 60s and 70s. I found three lunchboxes, and I did a video on those three lunchboxes. And if you get over there, after give me some time after this chat. Give me like an hour or so to upload it, and you'll see it. Andy, hello, Andy. Sorry for changing the subject, but what would your John set list be? Oh, it's not changing the subject. This particular thing has no subject, different subjects. Um, as far as that, again, I'd have to really sit down with a pen and paper and really write it down. But I mean, I don't have a clue. I guess from the Beatles, I would expect them to do like Help. I would expect them to do maybe Revolution. I would expect them to do Your Blues. We could have a lot of fun coming up with John's set list. That's the kind of thing, Andy, I'd have to do, when I make a video or something, because when you're doing it during a live stream, I'm very big on when we do a live stream, trying to go pretty quick and getting all the answers in and comments, because if you spend too much time on one question, you just lose track of where you are. And for me personally, I don't know about a lot of you all out there, but when I'm watching other people's live streams, there's somebody that I watch in the movie community. I won't say who it is. Somebody in the movie community. And when I watch this movie live stream, it's like the person spends forever on one question, and they get a lot more traffic than I get even. And it's like 89 questions go by, and people get ignored. So yeah, that requires a lot of thought, Andy. As far as solo stuff, for John to do in a set list, there's a lot of things that he would do, obviously. Uh, okay, Dave's mentioning Race with the Devil, which I've never seen, but I have seen The Devil's Reign, and The Devil's Reign is not a very good movie, but I like it. It's a cult favorite of mine, you know. And Storm of the Century, I'm lost. I'm lost on the Storm of the Century. The Children, Woodland. I've ever seen The Children. I don't know why that sounds familiar. I'm thinking of a TV movie. Is it a made-for-TV movie? Well, I don't know, Tim. Sometimes maybe thrift stores pay off, but mine don't pay off very often. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, The Devil's Reign is definitely on DVD. It was on DVD more than once. Different companies have put it out. So, let me see where we're at here. Okay, Joel Morris went to Liverpool the other day. Got to go to the Cavern Club. Cool place, even if it's not the original. I mean, if I was there, I'd go to the Cavern Club. Honestly, obviously, but honestly, it doesn't mean that much to me because it's not the original. I think that's one of the stupidest things they ever did was tear down the original Cavern Club and make a car park out of it. That's crazy. It's a parking lot now, you know. But anyway, I still would go there, and and after all, Paul McCartney did play in the Cavern Club. I mean, Paul and Ringo have been in the new Cavern Club. We've been in there. I don't think Ringo ever played a concert there that I know of, but I know in 1999 McCartney played in the new Cavern Club, and I know Ringo went down into the new Cavern Club for a Disney show that he did called Ringo Starr Going Home in 1992, I think. So a video on horror sequels that are better than the original. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll write it down. From time to time, that's why I have this notepad here. If I think of possible ideas, or people want to suggest ideas, I don't write all of them down, but I'm going to write this one down because I think it's a good idea, and maybe I'll visit that. Vanishing Point going for stupid money. Little Shop of Horrors. I saw the one I haven't seen the one with Steve Martin. I think Rick Moranis and Steve Martin. I didn't see that one, but I saw the original one. Haven't seen that in decades and decades. It was fun. It was weird, a little creepy, weird, strange. But I haven't seen the remake reboot. Okay, Steve Ramsey would love to go down there, go to the record shops where I am. Yeah, there are really good record shops here. I'm very spoiled, and someday, whenever I'm going to be moving from here, I don't expect to move here for a couple of years at least. So, you know, the Black Cat. Well, Al, there's a lot of Black Cat movies as well, but the original one with Karloff and Lugosi, I love that from 1934. Edgar Ulmer directed it. When I was a kid, I had no need for that. I was into monsters and the monster models and all that. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy. But the Black Cat is really a good movie about two enemies that kind of seek vengeance on each other. It's really, really good. And Lawrence Juber played the new Cavern Club. Andy, I got a lot of invitations to stay to stay at people's houses. That's mighty neighborly of you. I'm gonna have to write a list when I'm ready. When I'm ready one day to go to the UK, I'm gonna have to say, everybody, where can I stay? Give me all the names here. And thank you very much, Kimba, for coming by. I don't know anything about work. I'm retired, so sorry. I'm excited about that still. So I just wanted to say that. Um, Sorry if I miss any of your questions. Just if I miss any of your questions, please ask again. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a button below. I think there should be where you can do that. Scott said, Joe, do a video on the one best McCartney song for each decade. Okay. People ask me to do the best one from each album, and that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Best McCartney song of the decade. That's an interesting topic. Let me write it down. I can't promise anything. Can't promise anything. Okay, yeah, that's the one. A Black Cat, Al. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, that's the one. Um, all right. And Dave says Jack Nicholson did Little Shop of Horrors and The Terror at the same time for Roger Corman. Yeah, The Terror. That's a messed up movie too. That's not very good. But Karloff is in it. Nicholson is in it. Boris Karloff with Jack Nicholson. I like better or the two of them in the movie called The Raven. There's a couple of versions of The Raven too. I'm talking about the Corman version of The Raven. Peter Lorre in it, Vincent Price, Boris Karloff, Jack Nicholson. Good cast. What's going on, folks? All right. Okay. Okay. Russ Beatles 63 said just finished Revolver Redo Redux. Great show. Joe, thank you very much, Russ. That's from Fab Gab. You know, I have a show here called Fab Gab, and that's not something that I do every week. We're going to get back to the Fab Gabs, but he's talking about one we did on Revolver. We did two Revolvers. I actually got two of them. I don't know if you saw the other one. I say in the Redux one that I don't have the first one anymore, but I put the first one up. So what we have actually are two Revolver shows. If you're interested, you can with different guests. It's two Revolver shows, and each one has different guests on it. So you can check those out. Is Paul's what's Paul's last really good ballad that's never happened before? Ooh, I'm trying to think of the albums now. Boy, this is tough. McCartney 3 is Women and Wives a ballad? If that is a ballad, I don't think it. I wouldn't call it a ballad because I love that. On Egypt Station, geez, I'm trying to think if there's a ballad on there. You got me. You got me. I love Hosanna. A lot of people don't like Hosanna off the album New from 2013. You know, yes, indeed. You're talking my language here. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. That's probably my favorite horror movie, even though it's not the best horror movie ever made. But it's childhood memories and all that kind of thing. So, what's going on, folks? Yeah, Martin. I thought of that too. I don't know. If we want to consider I don't know a ballad, yeah, I definitely would say that's the last really good one that he had, in my opinion. Um, oh, now, Woodland, you say, is there a particular movie to discuss for midnight? I'm a little lost with what you mean. Oh, Attack of the Puppet People is on Svengoolie tonight, huh? Good, I could miss it. Now, Attack of the Puppet People is not one of my favorites. I think I have it back there on a DVD though. So yeah, I don't mind the song, however absurd. I like that. Not great. It's not great. Okay, Rory asked, "Do you think if Paul had released a couple of live tracks from Glastonbury just after the concert, he would have had a top 10 hit?" Maybe the timing. I don't know. But I will say, I haven't watched all of Glastonbury yet, but I've seen a few clips. I saw 1985. He sounded, well, I heard it. I heard the audio for 1985 off Glastonbury, and I thought he did fantastic. I tell you, I don't know what happened that show. Maybe he thinks it's his last show. I doubt it. Knowing Paul, he always wants to play. But I will tell you that I do think that what I've heard of Glastonbury so far, I think I heard Band on the Run also. People are saying it's great. They maybe should put out a video of that, a released, concert. I want to come home. I've always thought I want to come home to be his best ballad. Why am I drawing a blank? That's not one of the last ones that came out on the single, was it? I'm drawing a blank on that one. Russ, you got me mixed up with somebody else. I love Back to the Egg. I love Back to the Egg. I mean, maybe that would qualify for one of those shows, another listen, because a lot of times people really don't think much of that album. I am a fan, a thumbs up fan of Back to the Egg, the Wings album. Even Andrew Dixon said he thinks maybe Paul had done something to his vocal cords recently. You mean in a positive sense? Something's good about it. I mean, really. Oh, okay. That's the song from the film Everybody's Fine. Paulina, you've done it again. You stumped me again because I haven't heard the song. Believe it or not, I don't think I've heard it. Speaking of which, I still would like some kind of compilation from Paul, kind of like a cold cuts thing, where he really gathers together all the stray tracks, the B sides, the movie songs, all this kind of stuff. After the Ball, I'm a fan of the song After the Ball. But as far as it being like a last great ballad, that goes back quite a ways. He's had a lot of good ballads since that. Yes, indeed. It's one of my favorites too. Back to the Egg. And yes, I like Nothing for Free also. Now, just to show you, I mean, the song Nothing for Free, for those who don't know, is a bonus track from off Egypt Station era, Egypt Station era bonus track. And I love that song. And it sounds really modern. It sounds really 21st century. And I just love it because I could still hear the McCartney influence in it. You know, the McCartney voice, the McCartney style in it, even though it sounds so electronic and kind of modern. I really like it. I agree with you, Scott. Jenny Wren is a great ballad. Yeah, Jenny Wren is one of my favorites off Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. Yeah, Hope for the Future. It's not one that I like. I'm not big on Hope for the Future, but it could qualify if you like that song. That could be considered one of the last great ballads. If it's a ballad, does ballad have necessarily have to be love song? I don't know. Joel, I'm with you. When I first heard that Paul was doing "Love Me Do" on the tour that he's doing now, I thought, I don't know how that's going to be. "Love Me Do" again, really? And no, I really do like the way it was one of the things I enjoyed most seeing Paul. A couple of weeks ago, um, live. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, yeah, he sounds pretty good. He really he sounds pretty good. And that's why I was saying that, I wonder, I keep thinking Paul's going to keep on playing live. He wants to play live. He likes the adoration of the crowd. He wants to go out there and play for people, and it keeps people alive. I mean, when you get older too, you want to keep on active and stuff. But the thing is, if Paul were to stop, if he were to stop right now, and the last thing he did was Glastonbury concert, he would go out way on the top. It would be like the Beatles going out with Abbey Road, or it would be a great way to stop for him. But I think he's going to keep playing. And I'll tell you one thing. I've gone on record as saying I don't think he should play live anymore. I think he should save his voice for the studio recordings. And now even I, after seeing him on June 16th, saying I think that he can still do it. I think he can go out there and continue to play and continue to amaze people. It's not about the number. I mean, whether you're 70, I mean, you could lose it at 60. I mean, and I've heard that John Bon Jovi can't sing really well, and he's younger than Paul. So I mean, you could be 85 and sound fantastic. Tony Bennett went into his 90s, right? I mean, so what do I think of McCartney's vocal contribution to the song "A Hard Day's Night"? Fantastic. It's Paul reaching the high note, high pitch. John couldn't reach that. I think that's why Paul sings that part of A Hard Day's Night. You know. Have not heard any of Danny Harrison's music. I mean, I've heard little bits of it, and it's just not my thing. So I haven't really pursued it more. You know, a video on the top 10 Beatles songs that would not work as a live solo performance. I wonder if they probably could make anything work. Let's see. I'm a big fan of the song "Spies Like Us." I know, we get into this with like "Driving Rain" that some of the lyrics are pretty bad, and a lot of people say, "Oh, the lyrics of "Spies Like Us" are not very good," but I think they're fine, and it's supposed to be a kind of movie theme song, and it rocks, and the guitar work is fantastic. Dave says Bon Jovi could never sing. Well, I mean, I don't know. I, I mean, I only have, I know some of the songs on record, and I like them. So, the Black Magic Voodoo with Bela Lugosi. You might be talking about a movie called Voodoo Man. I think if that's what you're talking about, a really low budget poverty row horror movie with Bela Lugosi and also John Carradine is in it. Yeah, Tom Jones still has a great voice. Robert Plant supposedly does. I haven't heard him lately. And Joel says Diana Ross is younger than Paul, and she sounded very bad at Glastonbury. A lot of people at Glastonbury said Paul is one of the best that he's heard. So, your friend saw Bob Dylan in Sacramento about a week ago. She loved it. Says it was a great show with a more jazzy country feel. All right. The last time I saw Bob Dylan, he was pretty good. Last time I saw him was in 2013 with the Tempest album tour, which I love Tempest. I think it's one of Dylan's best albums of any decade. In 1989, I saw him and he sucked. I didn't like him in 1989, but I loved him or liked him in 2013. When Paul dies, do you think the focus will fall on James to do performances like Danny Harrison? Only time will tell. I don't know what would be up with that. All right, folks. Okay. Again, I'm a reminder, I'm wearing these headphones and this mic because I can hear, especially at this time, whenever I do live, I put this on because I can hear people walking and floorboards squeaking on the ceiling and stuff. So, I don't want that to come through. And I don't think it does when you're using the mic here. All right. Okay, folks. I'll catch my breath for a moment. Again, folks, if you will, please consider maybe subscribing to my movie channel, but that's only if you like movies. If you're only if you're interested in movies and television stuff too. And for those who don't know, that's called Mayo After Dark, and it's here on YouTube. And we'll be on the lookout for the video I'm going to put up right after we finish this. I'm going to put a video up that I just shot over here on my camera phone, and it's going to be about some really cool lunch boxes that I bought, collectible lunch boxes in the 60s and 70s today. Because that's, going to be a fun channel. Um, where are we at? What do I think is the best non-Paul Wings song? The first one that pops into my mind is "Medicine Jar." I love the song "Medicine Jar." I think that's the best. I like "Time to Hide," even though didn't Paul write? Did he write that? I always forget. I like "Time to Hide," but my favorite is "Medicine Jar," and then "Time to Hide." I like "Again and Again and Again" from Denny Lane. Ah, we got an agreement there, Russ. Well, you will find out soon enough. Soon enough. And if I ever come back on, which I should, on some of these chats from time to time, Tim, the live chats where we have, everybody together on screen. And next time we hold something up, I'm going to hold that up. Here's a hint for some of you people. I think you're right, Russ. I think you are right. Did Denny Lane write Deliver Your Children? Because don't forget, I'm not the expert here on the Paul stuff. That's Andy and Tom over at Two Legs. Is Somewhere in England the third best George Harrison album? Not for me, it isn't, Andy. For me, it's down a lot lower. I think Somewhere in England is better than most people give it credit for. As a matter of fact, if you want to check the Talk More Talk show here on YouTube, we did one of the series in another listen. We talked about Somewhere in England and we revisited it, and it was one of the newer shows. I mean, you only got to go back. I don't know. Is it 7 shows, 5, 7, 10 shows? We did it not too long ago. You never know. You never know, blood vessel. You never know. And also here on Mr. Mayo, I got some interesting videos coming up. I don't know when. I haven't shot them yet. I don't know when I'm going to shoot them, but one of them has to do with what I'm going to call the great, well, maybe I won't call it that, the great Mayo vinyl purge of 2022. All right. That's the first one, something like that. And the second one has to do with my talking, just musing, not ranting or complaining. Well, maybe complaining, but I won't be ranting about people who are too frugal with their money. So I got a couple of interesting topics, I think, on my channel that I want to come up with. Okay, went back to rewatch an older Mazzy video. He believes the Plastic Ono Band could be the first proto-punk slash grunge album. I'm not enough. I don't know enough about proto-punk and grunge to tell. All right. Yeah, Deliver Your Children is a Denny written song. Thanks, Tim. So is Getting Closer, which is interesting because I never really considered that Getting Closer is a Denny Lane song. However, on one of the bootleg albums, there's a version of Getting Closer sung by Denny, lead vocal. So there you go. I'm a little mixed up, Mr. Blood Vessel. Can you please tell me what is a bit of a stretch? Sometimes, folks, when you have these and people like respond a little later, you don't know which topic they're referring to. Or maybe it's making a joke about stretching your money with frugal. Is that what it is? I don't know. Is that aimed at Anthony, the frugal thing? No, not at all. I'm gonna have to cover that, my friend Anthony. I'm gonna have to cover that in the video, making sure I'm not talking about Anthony. Okay? Because Anthony is not as bad as what I'm talking about. Okay? And Anthony, it's a different story when people stretch their money because they or pinch their pennies because they have to. There's people who have money up the and even though they got money up the they still pinch it. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. The Plastic Ono grunge comparison is a bit of a stretch. Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Blood Vessel. Now, here's the thing. Thank you for asking me this. I made a video where I did a discussion about the new movie Elvis with Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. And somebody asked me, "Is there any rap in the new Elvis movie?" And I said no. And people are telling me that I missed it because there is rap in there. Well, put it this way: there's not enough rap in the movie itself for me to notice or to bother me. Otherwise, I would have really, believe me, I would have told you about it. I would have complained about it. However, I did note that there was rap music on the credits at the end going up. And even then, it wasn't the credits right away. The credits start with Elvis's version of "In the Ghetto," and then the rap music comes in like late in the credits. So and I use the term music very loosely. So, hello, Raymond. Yes, happy Fourth to you. Happy Fourth of July to anybody out there. I hate. I gotta say it this way. Thank you very much, Raymond. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Fourth of July. All who celebrate. you know, that's it. But I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? If it's like me with Father's Day. When people say to me, "Happy Father's Day," and I'm going, "Thanks," but I'm not a father, as far as I know. I'm not a dad. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna make another video about this. Maybe about there are more. Put it this way: I watched the Elvis movie, and I picked up on a couple of falsehoods and inaccuracies, which is par for the course whenever you do these stupid biopics. Sometimes, however, after I watched the movie and after I made my video here on me, Mr. Mayo, I found out from reading and from reading articles online and also watching some videos that they do a comparison of what's real and not, true and false. And there were a lot more than I thought there were false. So, you know, the thing about that is people say, well, when you make a movie like that, you have to take artistic license, dramatic license. And I always say, not always, because most of the time, I think a person's true life story is already plenty dramatic and plenty artistic and plenty gossipy, right? You're going to tell me Elvis's true story without tweaking anything isn't already enough of a drama, enough artistic and craziness? It's already powerful enough on its own. You don't need it. So I was thinking the point is on my other movie channel, which I'm going to promote again. It's called Mayo After Dark. After the lights go down, listening to Beatles and stuff like that, then it's time for the movies in the dark. And over on the Mayo After Dark channel, I may do another video on the Elvis movie from this year, and I may talk more about the inconsistencies in it. Maybe. So my girlfriend's doing fantastic, James. Thank you for asking. Yeah, and this is what I feel too. People say, "Oh, what's the big deal?" Some people try to defend the movies, the biopics, and say, "What's the problem?" Everybody knows they're not true. Everybody knows they take liberties. Not everybody knows that. Most people watching these things, they learn from it, and sometimes they learn the wrong thing. They learn the falsehoods from it. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tim. Right? You take artistic license, and people think it becomes the truth, and so. Yeah, family members don't seem to mind. They sign off on them, and I think Priscilla Presley and Lisa Marie Presley said they liked this Elvis movie. So I don't know. And then talking about the movie Being the Ricardos, a story about Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, that movie. Lucy Arnaz, their daughter, said that she thought it was very good. What can I tell you? Oh, well, Peter Boothroyd, that's pretty cool. You had never heard the song "Crying" by Ringo? Yeah, it's a good country-esque song. It is a good song. I'm glad you liked it. Would love to see you guys revisit the Moonshot Emporium. I heard one of the guys that was working there. I heard it doesn't work there anymore. So I don't know about that. Rod says Colonel Tom Parker, horrible guy. And now look, I tend to agree with you. I think from what I know, from what I think I know, I think Colonel Tom Parker was a bastard. I really think he screwed up Elvis's career. On the same by the same token, I mean, he obviously got him work. He obviously got money. Elvis obviously was a superstar. However, I really think Elvis could have done even more if it wasn't for the Colonel. And Colonel was really mostly interested in himself, his own interests, and it's disgusting. So that's my feeling on it. Do I think that was underrated as a songwriter with the Beatles? No. I mean, I love Ringo. I think he's underrated by some people as a drummer. But as far as as a songwriter, I don't think he was a great songwriter. He's still not a great songwriter. However, Ringo has written a lot more songs in the last, say, 30 years, 25, 30 years, and he's gotten better. He's gotten better. But I wouldn't put him on par with John, Paul, or George. As much as I love him. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Attack of the Puppet People. Somebody else mentioned it was on Svengoolie tonight. I'll probably pass. Sometimes, though, it's like the man who shot Liberty Valance, where it's better just to keep the legend going that rather than unveil the truth. Well, I don't know. In some cases, maybe, but they could have done more on Elvis. Do you love "Don't Pass Me By" or "Octopus's Garden" more? I guess I'd go with "Octopus's Garden." I like that better than "Don't Pass Me By." Two Ringo songs, for those who may not know, from when he was with the Beatles that Ringo wrote. Obviously, George helped him on Octopus's Garden anyway. So, boy, time sure flies. We've been on like 46 minutes already. And I really don't like to make these things more than an hour. Uh, catch up with Mayo things. But this is a lot of fun. And again, I'm going to try to do this every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And I may miss some now and then. I think I missed last week's. One of them I had a Paul McCartney 80th birthday bash. So what's going on, folks? And Ringo has 4 writing credits while in the Beatles. It would make a good EP. I know there's an EP out there from some country of just the Ringo songs. You know, I forget what country that is. What happens in New Jersey on Sunday mornings? Flea markets? I don't know about New Jersey, but I know that for what it's worth, too, you remind me, I do have a flea market video in the can, so to speak. Well, I haven't edited it yet. I have the footage. The footage is all right here on the phone. I have not edited it together yet. I have a flea market video coming at some point, but it wasn't particularly a good one, so don't get your hopes up. It's a really dull one, actually. But there's some stuff. There's some fun stuff to look at. I did not watch the Ray Bradbury Theater. Tales from the Dark Side, I didn't watch much either, but I think in the 80s I did see a few episodes of that. I've seen Tales from the Dark Side. I have not seen Ray Bradbury Theater. What's my favorite Hammer film? There are a lot of favorite Hammer films I have, but I always like to say Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed from 1969. You know, Julian Lennon came out with his first EP. Am I Lost Theater? What about that? The Jude. He's coming out with an album called Jude, or did he come out with it already? Don't know. So yeah. So when we do these chats, we can talk about almost anything. I don't talk about politics. Stuff like that. Sex. I mean, come on. You get the picture. But we can talk about movies, talk about music, maybe some kind of things going on other than that. Well, Rod, I'm a big fan of the Friday the 13th series. I mean, Friday the 13th is my favorite of those 1980s franchises, and I really think the Halloween franchise really is all over the map. It's all over the place. Um, yeah, the Hammer film, The Mummy from 1959, it is good. It's one of their best films, I would say. Yeah, I would say it's worth seeing. I mean, if you like monster movies and mummy movies and things like that, I think it's pretty good. Did I watch Kolchak back in the 70s? Well, the problem with Kolchak, The Night Stalker, is that I love the first movie that came out, a television movie called The Night Stalker about a vampire, and it was very good. In fact, I remember watching it with my mom on TV. We were both getting a little like nervous and scared at the end. I thought the Night Stalker film was really good, and then there was another one they followed up, not quite as good, another film called The Night Strangler. So the Night Stalker movie and the Night Strangler movie, very good. The television series Kolchak the Night Stalker, you know, I think they really dropped the ball with that, and I don't think any of those episodes compare to the two TV movies that came out. So I'm not a fan really of the TV show Kolchak the Night Stalker. Well, Darren McGavin was fantastic as Carl Kolchak, the reporter, and Simon Oakland as his, no nonsense kind of boss. He's always butting heads with. Those very good casting. Do I like any '80s heavy metal bands? I don't think so. I mean, there's some songs here and there that I like, and I always bring this one up. It's my token one that I bring up. "Bring It On" the Heartbreak by Def Leppard. I love that song. Absolutely love it. I bought the 45 of that back in, I think, '83. Hello to Joseph Montaneo. Thank you. And I appreciate that everybody's here. I mean, I hope the time is all right. I keep saying like there's no one time for a live stream that's going to make everybody happy. I figured this was good Saturdays because most I would say are not working. I know Kimba is working, but most people are not usually working on Saturday. And the time that I do it, 5 p.m. Eastern time, that gives people a chance. People who are behind me, like in Arizona or Chicago, people that are ahead of me, like in England, 5 hours ahead, they can come on at 10 p.m. So, yeah, Tim Allen, you said it. Hit that like button, the one that's shaped like an S. You know what I mean? Seriously, it supports the channel, helps me do what I do, and I take no shame in that. Uh, I don't want to sit here and shout it from the rooftops for the entire length of time I'm on here, but it helps if you're so inclined. It's not required, it's not necessary, but it does help. Um, okay, Martin says the one song that he thought Paul struggled with at the Glastonbury show was "I've Just Seen a Face." Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet, Martin, so I don't know. Who's my favorite TV babe from the '60s? Elizabeth Montgomery, Barbara Eden, Diana Rigg, Dawn Wells, Tina Louise, Julie Newmar, other. All of the above. All of those women you mentioned are very attractive. I have no problem, but I got to go with Barbara Eden because I don't know. I just remember she was one of the first, and I was a little boy that I knew, what I was. Say, I said, oh, I like her. I knew something was up. And yeah, a lot of people say they like Elizabeth Montgomery better than Barbara Eden. And a lot of people say they like Dawn Wells better than Tina Louise. So there you go. So, all right, folks, let's keep going a little longer. Diana Rigg was in Game of Thrones, so she must have been pretty old. I have not heard if Paul will put out a CD or DVD release of his past tour. Yeah, and the last one that he put out was in 2009 for City Field. It would be nice, but only again, I think from what I'm hearing, the Glastonbury show is on good enough quality, on above average to put that out. What about Batgirl, Yvonne Craig? I'll take Catwoman. Well, Julie Newmar. Good afternoon to you, Jerome. Hey, thank you so much, Rod. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for a super chat. Thank you, sir. It means a lot. Thanks. Thanks for helping out. Um, which Canadian female artist would you prefer? I'm not familiar enough with Sarah McLachlan. Shania Twain. I like Shania Twain, all right, and Celine Dion. I don't know Sarah. Really, I can't think, but Shania Twain I think out of those, you know. I have not seen the Sadist, Daniel. No, no. And Straw Dogs also. I don't think I've seen. I don't. Is Dustin Hoffman in Straw Dogs, or am I thinking of another one? Who was the best Dracula second to Bela Lugosi? Well, I gotta go with Christopher Lee. I mean, Lugosi's the man for me. I'm a Bela Lugosi fan, but I love Christopher Lee. He's an amazing Dracula. It's to me, it's Lugosi and Lee, and then everybody else. But I really liked. There's a guy, Francis Lederer, who was from a '50s movie, 1958, called Return of Dracula. I liked him as well. So, uh, yeah, okay, Straw Dog. I might have seen Straw Dogs then. It's been a long time then. Dustin Hoffman was in Straw Dogs. Yeah, been a long time. And this is just when it's getting fun. We're getting close to quitting time. Sometimes I'll go 60 plus minutes, 64, 65 minutes, it's depending how it's going. Um, no, I never watched The Prisoner. I mean, it was. Why do I want to say that Jonathan Harris, aka Dr. Zachary Smith from Lost in Space, was on The Prisoner? I feel like I want to say that. Yeah. Okay, everybody, what's on your so-called minds? Yeah, Hammer has some suspenseful. Where was it? I lost it. There it is. Hammer has some more suspenseful movies in a non-horror vein. Yeah, one of them is Cash on Demand. I think that's a Hammer film. Cash on Demand was a good one that I saw. If it's not Hammer, I'm sorry, but it's got Peter Cushing in it also, and that was pretty intense. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you think it's a successful format, Woodland. The time is obviously good for you. Yeah, Quatermass in the Pit. Yeah. Well, one of the Hammer films I like is the Quatermass Experiment, and that's from 1955 or six. It was known in America as The Creeping Unknown, which I like. Do you like Wolfman Jack? Yeah, I do. I think he was a really good announcer, disc jockey, and I love him in American Graffiti. And which I'm really hoping, like 1973 had a lot of good movies, and next year is going to be 50th anniversary. I'm really hoping the uh, following movies. I hope they're brought back to theaters next year for the 50th anniversary. And I'm going to say American Graffiti, 1973, The Exorcist. I'm sure these will come back. 1973, 50th anniversary. The Sting, 1973 anniversary. And I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but I hope it's not that big of a film. Westworld. I saw that on TV on Turner Classic Movies the other night. I couldn't have a Fathom Events because Westworld, well, it's not the most popular movie ever. It does have a popular TV series. I only saw the first episode of the HBO Westworld, and it sucked, but nevertheless, have I gotten used to retirement? Yeah, it's not that hard to get used to, Peter. Very easy. But the only thing that I'm noticing about it that I've said before is the week goes faster. I mean, you turn around, it's another week. It's like Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. Before you know it, it's Sunday, 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 Sunday. I always say everybody knows that as you get older, time goes by faster. It seems to go by faster. But with retirement, it goes by faster than it ever did. And it was just April, and now to me it was just April in my mind, and now it's July. It's crazy. So, yeah, I tell you, Marcus, it's not just because I'm an old fart when it comes to the old stuff. Usually it is because I'm an old boomer. But the thing is, I tried Westworld. I didn't understand what the hell was going on in there. And I have a nephew that likes the show, and he told me, no, if you watch the whole thing, it'll make sense. Look, uh, it's too complicated. All right. So I really hated it. And you once met Oliver Reed in Scotland. Was he drinking? I know he was a real drinker. The Omega Man came out in 1971, and that's one of my all-time favorite films because I was 9 years old and I went into the theater, and I loved it. Yeah, I think Christopher Lee was a great Dracula. Only thing about Christopher Lee is, and this is very controversial, I don't really like him as much in the first film, the classic one, the first movie, Hammer, called Dracula. And in America, it's known as the horror of Dracula. I thought he was too young for the part in the first one, and I don't know. I liked him better as he got older. And I think that'll be it for today. That's it. We're done. So thank you everybody for being here, and thank you so much, Rod, for your generous support. And I'm going to tell you again for those who missed what's going on. Please subscribe to my movie channel, which is called Mayo After Dark, right here on YouTube. I'm going to have movie stuff, and as soon as I get off here, I'm going to be um, putting another video up there. I got a video about some memorabilia that I found, which is really cool. And let's see what else. Don't forget to watch Talk More Talk. Subscribe to Talk More Talk. That's the solo Beatles channel, and we just got done doing a video that's very popular where we're talking about Paul's controversial album Driving Rain and whether or not we think it should be called Driving Rain or Thriving Pain. So try it out, everybody. Have a great, safe, thank you, Joseph, 4th of July. And I appreciate you all being here. You're the greatest. So thanks, everybody. Talk soon.